Hello everybody, glad you could make it. My name is Kaylee Ellen and welcome to this week's video. So I have today my hanging plants to show you all. And honestly, some of them I didn't actually think they were as bad as what they are until I've pulled them down. Some of them don't look good. And honestly, I think in a lot of cases, this is down to neglect. My mental health has been just, it's non-existent, okay? It's non-existent recently. Some of them are down to mental health and neglect. Some of them I think are just in the wrong spot. One of them is due to me being unwell recently. As you guys know, I was ill. So I'm going to go through them and I'm going to tell you basically what I think has happened with them. But at the same time, I'm basically showing you my collection. So without further ado, let's go. We're going to start off, guys, with an absolute ugly. This here, believe it or not, is Philodendron Cream Splash. The plant was so much bigger, so much prettier. It was kind of bald at the top, but it was really long. So recently I cut it down. I'm staring right now at a glass full of cuttings of this plant in my cabinet, basically. So I do plan on growing them out and putting them back in. The place I have put this to rehab honestly looks like it's made it worse. So I'm going to water and feed this today after this video, and I'm going to put it upstairs in the plant room, and I'm going to put it all along the top of my shelves facing the window and hope that it gets better than this, because this is actually ridiculous. Looks completely water deprived. It's not having a good time, which is weird because everything feels damp actually, but I mean, it does have some water in it. So that's not very good. We don't like that. But I'm going to move it. Hopefully I can rehab this. As I say, this looks so much worse than what it did. But that's, oh my God, that's the plant. I know. If I have to literally cut these up into one leaf nodes, guys, and grow this thing back from nothing, I will. I really will. But I just need you to understand the reality of keeping plants sometimes. And we all tend to put the best of the best online, right? And life it's just not like that. So here's a wonderful example of me failing. Current mood, this plant. So put him back. I might go from like worst to best. I think that might be quite cool. So I will do this one here. This little guy just can't catch a break. He's brand new. I bought him, maybe 3 weeks ago, something like that. As you can see, he's not doing very well. He's in soil still. He's still in the packaging I bought him in, and he's been in the cabinet. Basically, I bought him. I was really ill. I didn't get to him. He dried out. You should see my Florida ghost. If you've seen my cabinet video, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's a bad situation, guys. But we've got time. By spring, everything can be better. So this is my Monstera Stiltipicana. Believe it or not, it could have been a beautiful plant. Don't get me wrong, this one isn't actually that bad. It's certainly not the worst. I would definitely say the Cream Splash was the worst by far. This one's not as bad. You know, it's got potential still. I just need to keep an eye on it with watering. I might actually, just had an idea, my bowls in the house are big enough. I think if I just put this in a bowl and just water the bottom of the bowl, it might keep it going a little bit longer than what this has. And we might be able to do something until I can repot it. But this little guy, I've been waiting to repot because I want to do a video on converting from soil to pon or whatever. So I'm waiting to do it because of that video. I should be able to get it done next week and we should be okay. But yeah, he's not looking too hot. He's looked worse, but he definitely looked a lot better when he came in. So, okay, the next guy's gonna be a bit heavy, and I thought he was doing better than what he is until I've gone to pick him up, but he's very floppy. But this guy is literally in the dark in my living room. He's pointing away from the window, he's pointing towards a Christmas tree. When I first brought the plant here, it seemed fine, like there seemed to be enough light, but now that we're in winter, I mean, this is very dark in here, and this is like as light as it's gonna get. Now we're in winter, I think it's just suffered. Let me pick him up, because he is full of water. He has water, and yet he's very floppy. So we're not very happy with that, but this is my pride and joy. This is my Philodendron Hederaceum. It's literally a Heartleaf Philodendron. There is nothing to him. But I've had him for years, guys. Is he like 6 years old now? 5 years old, we'll say. He's an old boy. He's an old boy, and I got him from like a couple of, he was a plant from a shop, but it was like the smallest version of him that you could get. So it was in like a 10 centimeter pot. There's only a couple of vines, like, a few inches long. And I've had him all the time. He's looked so much better, but we will get him going. I think this is a plant that needs to be moved. And when I style my shelves, because I know I've mentioned it, I think this might be one that gets moved in here. Not sure where. It's a bit difficult, but I would like to move him. But if I just stand back a bit, you can see how cool he is. He's all right. He needs moved. I think he might also go upstairs to try and get some more light to plump him up. It's not going well with the amount of light in this house. But I think his problem was a light problem. I don't think he has suffered from my mental health other than, I guess, missing a watering. Okay, the next plant is fast becoming one of my favorites, and it's looking very nice. And this is the reason why I want to move things upstairs. This one was upstairs. It came to this house. It didn't look as good and as plump as it does now, and it certainly didn't look as variegated as it does now. And I put it upstairs on the top of the shelves facing the window, and it just looks sexy. So let me show you what he looks like. This guy, Philodendron, Heteroecium variegated, or variegatum, I would say. Now, honestly, some of these, if you've never seen this plant before, you try and put the leaves up to the camera, they look very, very, very nice. I'm a big, big fan. So he's basically, if you really don't know what this is, you've never seen it before, it's a variegated version of the last plant I showed you. But he looks really nice. Now, I don't care if he's variegated or not. He is actually kind of variegated throughout, even on these leaves here. I hope you can see. I appreciate my face is in the way, but the camera won't even try and focus on it otherwise. But can we see here? Hopefully you can see there is actually variegation in these leaves. It never really popped out with the light, but since it's been grown down my shelf, I mean, this one here is looking pretty toasty, you know? So I'm really, really a fan of him, and I do actually think he's going to live down here permanently. I would really like him to live down here along with the next plant as well, because he's just sexy, and I think he could have a really nice time. That's almost grown burgundy, that bottom leaf. Can you see this? I don't know if you can tell the difference. Sorry, it's really hard to get everything in the frame. This leaf here under my finger looks a bit more burgundy. But yeah, he looks good. He doesn't look too bad from the back. He's looked, well, I've had plants that have looked a lot worse, put it that way. I think he looks okay. He's all right, you know, compared to the other ones. You have to remember, compared to the other ones, he's looking okay. He's not looking too bad at all. What does he look like in the frame? I think that's nice. I think he's cute. We'll pop him down. He's got plenty of water, he's quite heavy, but he is in the living room as well, but he's pointing towards the window. And because I love him so much and the other one is deteriorating, I'm kind of like, oh, do I just move him back now while I'm in winter and just sort of deal with it? Because I don't want to lose these plants for the sake of it just being too dark in winter, do you know what I mean? So that would be really, really annoying. Right, the next plant I want to show you, I've got 2 copies of the plant. One is some cuttings that I planted up probably, no doubt, on a video, I don't think, too long ago. And then after that, I'll show you the full plant because I'm very proud of the full plant. And the full plant is absolutely going to live down here. And you know what? This plant has suffered the least, which probably tells me that it could be one of the toughest. Granted, it's had a little bit more light, but it seems to be pretty tough. And I knew this plant was tough anyway. It's not like a newsflash. But I think seeing it all in actual comparison, you really get a sense of how tough it is. So I'll pick up the small version first, but this is my Epipremnum Cebu Blue. And I know it looks gnarly like this. If you remember, if you watched the video where I potted it up, it looked gnarly going in. Some things have suffered, I can see, and bear in mind there is water in here completely. It's even got feed in it or whatever, but it's one of these things where, you know, cuttings might take a dive. I don't think any of the vines have suffered other than this one vine here that seems to be upset. 'Cause if I actually ignore all that, all the rest of them look fine. They're nice and plump. So I'm not saying I'm ignoring that one, but I kind of am. And if I lose one vine, that's not really a problem. I think I've got a spare vine in my cabinet, do I? Yes, I do. I can see it. Again, if you've seen my cabinet video, you'll know that there is a random spare in there. So that's fine. I did actually take these cuttings. One, I think the plant was just way too long. So I have put these cuttings in, by the way, with no root. So the fact that they've even lived at all is fantastic. 99% sure that I just trimmed this. I didn't depot that plant, and I've planted these straight into pon. So the fact, to be honest, that I've only got one that's gone floppy out of all of them, that's pretty awesome. Really happy with that. But yeah, I cut this, I think, because Amber wanted a copy of this plant. So I thought this is the best way to start it off. Because I can always just trim this, take these into 1-leaf nodes and put it back in and make it bushier. I'm not going to give her something that's gnarly, if you know what I mean. But you got to start somewhere with these, and it's a good place to start. So I might actually put that where it used to be, because I pulled it down for the video. But let's just put him there. It's not exactly where he used to be, because he looks a bit stupid, but I think he'll be okay. Can I just rotate this a little bit? That might do it. So we'll put him there, and I'll show you the mother plant, because the mother plant is just absolute joy, an absolute joy. Let me show you these, because this just gets better and better. This one does actually need a water though. But this plant's fantastic at having to wait around for watering. Look at this. If you were ever unsure about having an Epipremnum Cebu Blue, please let this video decide it for you. Because personally, if you're into your hanging plants, you're into your Epipremnum for sure. I have no idea why you wouldn't want one of these. For me, it's not only the colour, but it's actually the way that the leaves cascade. Oh my god, itchiest nose out of nowhere. We're good. The way that, I can't even explain it. Just the way this cascades down, it is very waterfall-like, and I don't think all plants are like that. For example, the Heartleaf Philodendron, I wouldn't say grows like that. Not really. This is kind of something else. This is kind of like the plant version of a waterfall. I've got a random one at the back. I have a tiny bit of crisp at the back here. I don't even know what that is. It just looks like a random bit of vine that should have been cut off. Even the vines that are growing around the back of the plant, because that's what these are, by the way, they still look all right. They still look all right. So you've got that. I've got a couple of bit of crunchy spots, and I don't really know what's caused that, but given that it's nowhere else, I'm not exactly upset about it. It's been rotated around a little bit here and there, like this is a little bit tangled, and when I do reposition it, I would want to try and detangle this a little bit. But all in all, she looks great. Like, honestly, I mean, why wouldn't you want one of these? Why wouldn't you want one of these? Literally. They're so cheap as well, guys. They're so cheap. Get one. This is your sign. Look, if I put this right up to the camera, look at the colour it is. So sexy. So sexy. The last plant I want to talk about is technically, it's not in the best condition that Epipremnum was, but I don't want to pull her down because she's semi-stuck to the wall and I just need to sort her out separately, but I will obviously insert footage over me talking. So my last hanging plant is my wonderful Philodendron micans, and guys, I'm going to walk over to this plant while I talk to you so I can really give you an accurate depiction of what's going on. I won't have moved this plant when I take the footage for you, so you will see, but she is just so stressed, unhappy, underwatered, all of it. She needs a lot of TLC. Dare I say she needs cuttings taken off her and they need planted back in the top of the plant. This plant, I think, when I rehab her, I'm not actually going to keep her where you see where she is now. I'm going to actually put her in the living room. Yes, it's a little bit darker, but I think it might help her out because I think she's getting so much light. She's going through water too much. I don't really want to put her in a pot bigger than the one she's in, and that's because these beautiful shelves that you see only carry, I think, 25 kg. And I just think the pot, the size that I've got for a hanging plant, it's decent. So I don't want to necessarily make her bigger. I'd rather halve her and have two of her than try and make her any bigger. So she needs a lot of work. That's honestly a video in itself. So I'll probably do a video where I'm literally giving her a makeover. It should be fun. But yeah, I didn't want to move her just because it's just, oh God. Like, I can see a vine hanging down in front there that's grown the wrong way. It's obviously been growing upwards and it's dropped. She's not looking good, is she? But we will sort her out. I'm thinking the spot she's in now is going to be for the Cebu Blue, or maybe the variegated heartleaf, or even the green heartleaf. I'm not sure. That's what I'm thinking. I might do the Cebu. My problem is basically there is a wonderful spot underneath her that is honestly, it's probably prime place on all of my shelves. And because she's so long and dense, I can't put a plant behind her. So I'm kind of wasting, not only am I wasting space, but I'm wasting the best like real estate that I've got. So I really want to do something about that. So to be honest, maybe if she wasn't here, but she was on the other side of the room, maybe that would be good. I really need more thinking time on what to do there, but that's the state she's in. You might not have been able to see on the camera, but she is sort of growing up my ceiling a bit. So we really need to revive her because she is one of my favorites. And she's also the same age as my Philodendron hederaceum. She's quite old, you know, she's an old girl. She's like 5 years old. So we need to fix her. We will do so. So that was my hanging plant collection. I do have like cuttings of other bits. Like I've got some variegated Scindapsus. Don't want to say exotica. Can't remember what they are. I've got variegated Scindapsus cuttings. I've got a few different things upstairs, but because they're just cuttings and they're one leaf, I'm not really counting them as a hanging plant, I think. My hanging plants are quite clearly hanging plants. But I do own bits and pieces of other things. I just haven't counted them in this video. But if you like this video, please leave a like down below. It lets me know that you enjoy my content. Feel free to leave any comments you want. I just wanted to be really honest about the state of the plants in here. There's no point trying to tell you everything's great all the time when it's not, obviously. And yeah. Oh, my merch, wonderful merch. Sorry, I'm probably moving my microphone. My wonderful Long Boys merch is linked in the description if you fancy some of that. There are other designs there as well. And I guess that's it, guys. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.